On today's show, we visit with campers and staff at Crossroads Camp Wing, chat with Scott Smith on pop-up on the local scene, learn about Northeastern Savings Bank and BID's Lahey Clinic, hear original poetry from the Plymouth Poetry Festival, talk about what's going on in our South Shore towns, and take a closer look at Duxbury town government. We're glad you're here. Let's get started. Located on 200 acres, Crossroads Camp Wing in Duxbury helps youth become leaders in their communities, supports the development of life skills, and provides not just mentors and peer support, but a second family. We went on the local scene to learn more.
Camp Wing is one of the 3 camp sites for Crossroads, so under a big umbrella. We take about 150 each session kids out of the city.
It is an overnight camp where you get kids to have some new experience, just do things that they wouldn't be able to do in those inner city areas.
So the overnight piece, the kids are here for 12 days, so they basically live on site, which is so fun. So they live in cabins, kind of try out new activities, meet new friends.
My favorite thing about being here is having fun and just meeting new people.
Probably dancing or creative arts.
My favorite part about being here is it's really fun here and it's the best camp ever.
So we have biking, boating, which is anywhere from paddleboat, kayaking. We have these huge dragon canoes where it can fit about 20 kids that they can go out in the lake. We also have pools, which our families love. So they're either coming here with swimming skills, where they're elevating those swimming skills so they can go up to level 7, which we call them junior lifeguards, or anywhere to their first time being in a pool and kind of learning how to swim.
Then we have our program groups where, sometimes we're doing bracelet making, we're doing clay, and then we have the outdoor pursuit aspect where we're going on boats, we're going biking around the town, we're going fishing, we're doing those rock wall, those high wires, a tightrope type activity.
My favorite activity here at Camp Wing is challenge course, the bird's nest and high ropes.
I would say Tony ball and kickball.
My favorite part about camping is the fun, the friends, and the swimming pool probably.
Our mission statement is that we empower young people to unlock their potential and positively impact the world. And we do that by actively using our summer camps. So we have Camp Wing, which we're at right now. It's our largest site. It's like the Disney World of all the sites. We've got Camp Mitten in Brewster, which is also a very beautiful site. And we have Camp Lapham up in Ashby, Massachusetts, where our C5 leaders are. That's our team leadership program.
Where we get to get those kids also during the school year and make sure that they're keeping up with their grades, just always making sure that they have somebody that's gonna be there for them and let them know that there's somebody watching you along the way and giving them that support system that they need.
The reason why we have Camp Wing is to provide a summer getaway for kids in the city or kids here in the local neighborhood. It's a safe haven for youth, basically.
When I first came, it was different because my mom, she didn't know if I was ready to come to camp or not. So when I first came, it kind of helped me out because I cried because I didn't really like being around that many people and stuff and being away from my mom. But now I'm used to it coming into my second year because I have people that I know that I can trust and be around and talk to.
With Camp Wing, we call it our mission-based program, and I think camp is just so important for a young person because a lot of times they have so much going back at home. So we have up to our 14-year-old here, and at home they're probably the adult in the family. So to get here and to play basketball all day, or to be fishing, it's just really important, especially in today's society, for us to get our kids to enjoy being a normal kid.
The city is not always the best place, so it's just a great time. Camp Wing Day Camp is awesome because you get those kids in for a few hours, and residential camp is amazing as well because you get them here and they get to experience, they make new friends that they can go back in the city and they connect with, and it's just important for us to break out of our comfort zone, do some outdoorsy things that we would never do and build those connections and those relationships.
My favorite counselor is Mari because she's nice and I could tell her a lot of things.
Gabriel, he's really loyal to me, he trusts me, and yeah, like that.
Wes, because during CJO, when it was my first time, like when I was nervous, he helped me up a lot and built my courage.
So just building that community outside of home, school, and family. So it's awesome.
To have a community here that's removed from the city is really important. And it teaches them life skills, you know, how to be away from home at an early age, so that way when they get to college age, it's not a shock to them being away from home for a long period of time. It's not a shock that they have to make their beds every morning or, you know, feed themselves and help clean up the table, help their community. That's why it's important.
And then we also do team time activities. So this is anywhere from any activities that will help them build team building skills or, you know, being uncomfortable but challenging situations with their cabin mates. And that kind of helps them, you know, how to build friendship, how to set boundaries with people. So just teaching them those social emotional skills. My favorite part is the dance that goes into the dining hall.
You know, I'm a music geek, and so I love when we're in the dining hall dancing on tables when the music's blasting. I love that. Camp, to me, is a celebration of summer, of being alive, of being with people that you really love and care about.
Every meal, there's music blasting, kids are up on their chair dancing and just enjoying being a kid. And really feel like that was missing, especially throughout COVID, so it's nice to bounce back to normal, if you want to call it that. We love when we have visitors and people come down just to check out the site, because I think it's, for me saying it or someone else saying it, I think you have to see it and to see the magic of just putting kids together in one room. So sponsorship, visiting, donating. We have an event we call Community Action Day, which is where we invite our families, our campers, any friends of Crossroads to come down to help us open the site, to help us close the site. So those small things really make a big deal for us, just to let our kids know we're caring for them and we want to provide the best space for them when the summer comes.
There's always sponsorship opportunities and grant opportunities. We have a team at our office that handles all those grants that come in, so you could definitely go to crossroadsma.org.
And clicking donate. That's the easiest way to do it. We do have plenty of fundraisers like the Rodman Ride for Kids, but even if you don't necessarily want to be like that face that the people see, you want to be a private donor, the website is there. Donate, make a nice little letter. It's the easiest way to get involved.
So yeah, we have a lot of those opportunities. And we would love to have anybody come down and be a part of our community.
To learn more about Camp Wing and other programs this wonderful nonprofit offers, visit crossroadsma.org. If you're paranormal curious, you are invited to the Pembroke Public Library on Thursday, October 19th for a program presented by members of the Greater Boston Paranormal Associates on the basics of ghost hunting. The team consists of members who are both skeptics and believers, working together in an approach that is open to all possibilities. At this event, you'll learn about the investigative methods and technical equipment GBPA uses in their paranormal research work and ghost hunts. Attendees over 18 will have the chance to win 2 tickets to a paranormal investigation taking place aboard the USS Salem in April of 2024. Visit the Pembroke Public Library website to register. Get into the spooky spirit and spend your evening before All Hallows Eve examining myths and strange tales of the South Shore. Former Executive Director of the Duxbury Rural and Historical Society, Patrick Brown, will share the real history behind unusual tales and folklore related to this area, and his research on how and why some of these strange stories came to be told. This October 30th event will begin at 6:30 p.m. in the King Caesar House Barn. Dress for cool New England fall weather. Registration is required. Visit duxburyhistory.org. Next up is a word about Beth Israel Lahey Health.
1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. I am that one. Hi, I'm Julie Tobin, and I had been feeling exhausted. I couldn't sleep, I had headaches and stress, and at times my concentration was off. I was often bloated and uncomfortable. I thought it was perimenopausal. This past January, I had a mammogram at Beth Israel Lahey Health Breast Center in Plymouth. We discovered not 1, but 2 masses. I had stage 1 breast cancer. Fortunately, we caught it early and I am cancer-free. Listen to your body and get a mammogram.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robin Sachs, the director of the Beth Israel Lahey Health Breast Center in Plymouth.
Breast cancer is a curable disease if you catch it early. The best way to do that is to have a yearly mammogram. The American Society of Breast Surgeons and the U.S. Preventative Task Force both recommend a yearly screening mammogram starting at 40 for women at average risk. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Please use it as a reminder to schedule your imaging. Call 508-830-3000 and make an appointment. Your imaging will be done in a comfortable setting using the state-of-the-art equipment right here in our community. Your loved ones will thank you. Halloween on Main Street returns for a fabulous late afternoon of Skellefun beginning at 3 p.m. on October 31st. Your little superheroes, witches, and ghouls aged 10 and under can start at Plymouth Memorial Hall for free activities, including face painting, pumpkin decorating, and lots more, before you take a trick-or-treat stroll through downtown Plymouth, visiting more than 70 participating merchants. The fun will run until 5 p.m., and there's free parking at St. Peter's Church and the bottom deck of the parking garage on South Russell Street. This event is brought to you by the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce and funded in part by the Town of Plymouth Promotional Fund. On October 27th, the Kingston Public Library and the Kingston Recreation Department invite you to their 3rd annual Book and Treat event from 5 to 8 p.m. Grab your costume and head over to the Reed Community Building for games, music, tasty bites, and Halloween movies. This all-ages, irresistible event is free and open to all. To register for one of 3 time slots, head to kingstonrec.com. You never know who will step up to the mic at a pop-up on the local scene. During our trip to the Plymouth Waterfront Festival, we ran into former Old Colony Memorial managing editor Scott Smith, where he told us the story of how the festival led to a meet-cute with the love of his life.
I'm with Scott Smith. He has a fantastic story that took place right at the Waterfront Festival.
Well, I think it's pretty fantastic, and I've told it a few times in private circles, but never publicly. So if my wife picks up on this, she'll love it. It's because of the Waterfront Festival that I met my wife. And this was in August of 2016. And I was very much single at the time, and I was walking the festival because I always came to the festival. And I happened to run into Betty Cavaco of Manomet and the Manomet Youth Center. And Betty was manning a booth, and we only knew each other through email exchanges, through press releases that she'd send me and I'd get in the paper and so on. So it was nice to see her. And so I went over to her booth, and we spent the next hour talking in between people visiting her booth, and we just talked to get to know each other, because we didn't know each other as human beings, just as entities, you know. So after that great conversation, becoming familiar with each other and starting the very beginning of what would become a friendship, it was a month later when Betty reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, and she said to me, "Hi, are you still single?" And I went, uh-oh. And I wrote back, yeah, why? And she replied, "I think I know the person you're supposed to be with." Well, that raised my ears a little bit, and I said to myself, you know, I thought I was kind of retired from this part of life, but you never know. Let's see what's going on here. We went back and forth. We exchanged information. She told me about Lee. I learned a lot of great things about her character, her quality of a person she is, the fact that she's a strong woman, raised her son as a single mom. A lot of traits that I really appreciate and value in another person, and certainly in another woman, like being a strong and lovely sounding person. And then I said, "Oh, but I have one question." She said, "What's that?" And I said, "Does she like jazz?" And she said, "Wait a minute." I said, "What do you mean, wait a minute?" A minute later, she comes back and said, "Yes, she does." I said, "Betty, are you messaging with her at the same time?" She said, "Yeah, I've been going back and forth between you for the last 20 minutes. And she's interested in meeting you because I told her that I think I met the male version of you." Well, after all those exchanges, we couldn't help it. We exchanged phone numbers. We called. I asked her out a couple nights later. We met at Solstice Restaurant. And of course, I got there about 20 minutes early, went in, talked to the hostess, made sure we had the best table in the place, everything was ready, everything was properly positioned. I said, no, we won't sit across, we'll sit corner to corner. Went back outside to welcome her. And she said later on, when I walked up and saw you standing outside of the restaurant waiting for me, told me that this is a pretty special guy. And we hit it off. We spent the evening talking, the best conversation I ever had in my life. In fact, we closed the place down and all the wait staff were standing around like this saying, okay, you know, we got to close. One date led to another, and as I like to say, I knew on the second date, and as she always says, she knew on the third. And we've been together ever since. We got married at the end of the next year, and we're going on 6 years of wedded bliss.
You guys are couple goals. I love it. I love it. What a great
And it's
story.
all because of meeting Betty Cavaco here at the Harbor Festival in 2016. If that hadn't happened, I'd still be living in my little North Plymouth 4th floor walk-up, all by myself.
It was fate. It was fate. Scott, thank you so much for sharing that story.
Thank you for allowing me to. It's a fun story. I love telling it. Thank you.
Being a caregiver for a loved one can come with many obstacles, and being the receiver of that care can also come with its own set of challenges. If you could use some resources or help with either role, the Pembroke Council on Aging has a program that might benefit you. On October 20th at 10 a.m., join the COA and AARP for the Essentials of Caregiving Coffee Hour. In this session, you'll be provided with guidance on how to put together a team and establish a care plan. You'll also gain insight on how to navigate the bumpy roads of caregiving and care receiving, get tips and resources, including the AARP Caregiving Resource Center and Family Caregiving Guide. Reserve your spot by calling the COA at 781-294-8220. Here's local poet John Rogers in a reading of his original work.
Our next reader is John Rogers.
So, yes, my name's John Rogers. I'm a retired architect, but this is how I spend my time. The poem's written for honeybees, but also for all us humans that sympathize with their plight of survival. Your sister bees bring honey from the sky for us to eat and enjoy, while we may learn the coolness of a riverbank nearby, the comfort of our home when we return. You guard your door and sting marauding bees who steal your food when you have none to spare. But when your stores are full, you welcome thieves who enter in and all your honey share. You scarcely see an adversarial scene disturb the balance of your divine plan. Present a danger to your reigning queen, none but the vacant carelessness of man. I met you in the forest quite by chance. You visited each scented flower and stalk while you were busy with your spirit dance. You did not have desire or time to talk. To every forest flower I see, I swear that I will offer you my silent prayer. A lot of the elements of that poem are actually true about the lifestyle of bees. They do protect their hive, and they do let other bees come in and eat their honey. You know, if they have enough, they do that. So I think that's a very appropriate image for even us as we consider our possession. Now this other poem is to Gaia, the mother goddess. Our mother Gaia has no need for clothes while walking in her garden barely seen. We see just what she chooses to expose. Of all the tiny creatures, she is queen. They stand ready to protect her honor by changing shape into a raging beast whose fearsome claws and teeth evoke pure horror, while she herself remains discreet. With gentle hands, she forms an earthen pot. From clay she gathers from the riverbed. Its shape is fixed by fire made hot. So let our prayers of love be sung and said. My words are only breath and can't go far, but they can fill this empty earthen jar. Thank you.
Let's set the scene. It's April 2nd, 1950 in northern Iraq, and world-renowned mystery author Agatha Christie has just begun writing her autobiography, a project that would take her 20 years to finish. Why Iraq? And why begin it then? Perhaps it was a visit from an audience at the Duxbury Free Library. On October 24th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., join actress and historical reenactor Deborah Ann Miller at the library as she performs as the famed writer. As Agatha, she will reminisce with you about her childhood, her life as a writer and adventurer, and contemplate the many tales she has told in her autobiography. This event is brought to you by the library and the Duxbury Senior Center. To register, visit the Duxbury Free Library website. Next up is Julie Thompson with a closer look at the town of Duxbury.
There's a new finance director in town. Duxbury welcomed Mary McKinnon into the role after the retirement of John Q. Adams. I had a chance to talk to Mary about Duxbury's financial strengths as a community, funding challenges faced by the town school system, and her work with the town select board in planning a budget for the upcoming year. You can check it out on Duxbury in Depth, our new series where we talk to town officials about what they do to make our communities better. Duxbury is also growing. Over the past several months, the town's been working with developers to increase housing options for those interested in moving to Duxbury, as well as current residents who wish to stay in town but downsize from their current home. One such development is currently in the works on Lincoln Street. This 20-unit community is designed to meet the needs of moderate-income residents looking to call Duxbury home, with 5 units set aside for those who fall under low-income guidelines as defined by the state. You can stay up to date on this and other new developments in Duxbury housing market by watching our meeting coverage on our various platforms. Water quality is a major concern not just in Duxbury but across the country, with nearly half of the nation's drinking water containing traces of a harmful substance called PFAS, which have been linked to numerous health issues, including certain types of cancer, and that can't be removed by boiling. The Duxbury Safe Water Committee has been spearheading efforts to address the issue with plans to install filters at the town's wells. This has been a closer look at Duxbury.
When it comes to banks, you may think that they are all about the dollars and cents, which is fair. But many local banks gear their mission toward using their financial resources and knowledge to grow the communities around them. In this next episode of the Open Here podcast, Julie sat with Brian McCown, Vice President and Commercial Loan Officer for North Easton Savings Bank, to talk about how local banks can help a community to thrive.
Today I'm so pleased to have Brian McCown, who is the Vice President and Commercial Loan Officer for North Easton Savings Bank. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Julie. Good to be here.
Good to have you. So we're talking about regional, local, hyper-local banks. So let's go into a little bit about how did you get to be where you are at North Easton Savings Bank?
Yeah, so I've had a couple different positions at North Easton, but back in January of 2020, I moved down to Plymouth to start the business development operations and be the commercial loan officer.
Oh, so, January of 2020, not a good time.
Yeah, great time to come in and try to meet new people and kick some doors open to see what we could do. But it's been great so far. Everyone down here has been a blast to be working with and really excited to see what else we can do down here.
Yeah, this is a wonderful area to live in and to work in. Now, North Easton Savings Bank does a lot of things for the community. How many locations do you have? How far do you spread?
So we have 16 locations, and we have 6 separate standalone ITMs and ATMs. So we operate from Plymouth all the way over to Norton, so straight across.
Okay. So what is everyone knows an ATM is. What is an ITM?
Yep. So an ITM is an interactive teller machine. So if you go up to one of our ITMs, you'll be able to talk to someone directly in our call center, live and in person, be able to ask
like having
questions.
A Zoom meeting with someone?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's fascinating.
So they can open accounts, they can look up transaction history, they can check whether or not a check was deposited.
Yeah.
it's a way for us to expand our footprint without having to do
A brick and mortar building. Sure, got it. Now, can you talk a little bit about all the different things that Northeastern Savings Bank does for the community? And we can start with, for example, the things that you do with your charitable foundation grants.
Yep, so we just recently opened the Charitable Foundation, and that is a way for us to fund the Charitable Foundation and be able to service the community and give back no matter what external pressures we have. So we're constantly looking to put money into the foundation that if anything external in terms of the economy is out there, we have funds that are able to be put back into the communities to help different nonprofit organizations as well as for-profit organizations.
And do people apply for grants?
So there's different grant processes that you can do through our marketing department, and I believe we have a link on our website as well that will allow you to talk directly to our marketing department if there is a need for that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you also do a lot of sponsorships. You're sponsoring this, you're sponsoring that. For example, give me...
Yeah, so we love to partner with the nonprofits if they're having golf tournaments or if they're having galas. We'd love to be a part of those on top of our annual donations that we give them. So it's another way for us to provide further support to them in the different events that they're holding.
Okay, like for example, you're sponsoring the Blue Futures Conference again this year.
So Stephen Cole and I have connected, and we see this as a great opportunity as the growth of the Plymouth Foundation and the growth of the conference to get involved as a sponsorship this year and see what we can do to further continue that relationship going forward with everything Stephen has done in the town as well as the Plymouth Foundation.
In the Economic Development Foundation, right, which is a great cause. You also did something with Pilgrim Museum?
Yep, so we entered this year to do the speaker series at the Pilgrim Hall Museum. So this was our first year doing that, which was very successful, and unbelievable speakers that they had come through there. They're always interested to see what they come up with in terms of different speakers every time.
Exactly. Do you get involved with parades, anything like that?
Yep, so we do the Thanksgiving Day Parade. So we're one of the first floats out of the parade. So that's always a fun event, and we like to do that event as well as the other smaller Thanksgiving events that they have going on during that time as well.
Right. Now, you personally do a lot of things for the community outside of your job in the bank. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So one of the things that our bank strives for is really pushing out into the community and being a part of it. So as officers of the bank, we're asked to make our presence known in the community. And that's getting on boards, that's being a part of different things. So right now, I'm a part of the Sunrise Rotary. I am the audit committee chair at the Plymouth Yacht Club. I am the treasurer for the Lewis Fraleyham Park over in Easton. I sit as the clerk for the Plymouth Chamber, and then I am an advisory board leader for the Duxbury Chamber Advisory Board.
Okay.
So
you really do.
So I'm out.
You live
looking
to
see
you live the mission.
Absolutely.
And the mission of your bank is you exist to invest your time and resources locally to improve the quality of living, working, and raising a family in the communities that you serve.
Yeah, I think it's really important. The more that we do with the communities we serve, the more we can give back. So the more that we have our communities invest in us and be a part of what we're doing, the more we can turn that around and give back to our communities. So we're a mutual bank. So unlike a public bank where we're reporting to shareholders, we're really only reporting to the communities that we serve. So the more that we can collect in, the more we can look to give back and do those sponsorships, do those donations, and then give different programs and offerings that, whether it's residential down payment assistance, whether it's adjusting our products to make it more advantageous to our customers, or through those donations and grants.
And by being a hyper-local bank, you really can hone in on what is going on in the community versus an international bank or a bank that's national.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I like being more involved with the individual communities is you get more of an understanding of what's happening and what are the needs of the community as well as down to the individual businesses and people. So
because every community is different, right? They all kind of have their own personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Our community down here in Plymouth is very different from Brockton that we serve and very different from the Easton Norton. So each one we look at as a different region approach in our branch. So.
Okay. So another question I had for you is about educational things that you do. I know that you're involved in the Credit for Life Fair. Yes. Can you talk about that? Because I find that fascinating.
Yeah, the Credit for Life Fair is a great program, and this is something that we've really tried to expand across our entire footprint. It's really to educate the juniors and seniors in high school on how to manage their money. We've found a lot of times kids are going to college and getting out and not knowing how to balance a checkbook,
Right.
what they're really going to be paying for student loans, and what it means to earn $50,000 and what you're actually going to take home.
Right.
So the Credit for Life Fair puts them through. You just graduated college. Here's your degree. Here's how much you're going to get paid. Go buy a house. Go buy a car. Get insurance.
Yep.
Really everything that you would need to do to get into the real world, so they get that firsthand experience of, oh, when I go out and work, I don't just get what my salary is. There's
I have to pay
there's other
bills.
things.
I have
That's
to pay
right.
rent. What?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And stay
now,
home as long as you can. 'Cause
do you think that the kids, the younger kids, get enough of an education in finance?
No, and that's something I think we really need to do better of. And I think even, getting down into starter checking accounts and where it's just basic learning, putting money in and saving and seeing that go over time versus, asking mom and dad for $20 to go to the store.
Right, exactly.
It's tough to earn money before you can get into employments, but whether it's building that up and just seeing how that system
And
works.
valuing the
Exactly.
money. So I've heard that North Easton Savings Bank has won some awards lately. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. We were recognized by Forbes as the best in-state bank for 21 and 2022. We were the #1 top workplace in the mid-size category by the Boston Globe in 2022, and the #1 top workplace USA 2023 by the Energage. And then most recently, we were awarded the 2023 Corporate Citizen Award by the Boston Business Journal. So
For giving
definitely
back.
For giving back and being a part of the community, absolutely.
Good for you. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is the future of banking. With all the online options and all the young people now, nobody uses cash anymore. I don't think my kids have ever used cash. It's all the debit cards. What do you see as the future of banking, brick and mortar banks?
Yeah, and I think we've already seen a lot of banks closing different locations.
Yeah.
So, we're one of them where we were over branched for a little bit, and we decided, okay, how do we really focus on the true areas? I mean, we went from 18 to 16, so we didn't go from 18 down to 4. 'Cause
Right.
I still feel, and the bank still feels, a presence in the community is what smaller banks are here for. A lot of people, whether you're young, old, or whatever stage in life you are, that personal touch to be able to go in and talk to somebody is you can't replace that. So when you become too invested in an online bank, if you've had to call someone in customer service to get what you need, it's not very easy.
Right.
So
you don't get the same person. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as a community bank, having that dedicated loan officer, having that dedicated branch manager, and someone who's going to pick up the phone when you call. We strive our call center to see how fast we can pick up a call.
Sure. That's what people want.
Yeah. So, getting a live person every time you call in is really important to us. That you're not feel like you're just dealing with one of the bigger banks, and really positioning ourselves as that big bank alternative.
Yep. And there's a lot of local, regional banks that do a great job.
Absolutely.
And everybody needs a bank of one sort or another. I mean,
Correct.
I don't think there's a soul out there that has any kind of income that doesn't have to involve themselves with a bank. So there's a lot of choices.
Correct.
And the point you're making is that one of the choices is to go with a bank that gives back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's, where can you get that connection? And that, I think, is more important than anything.
Right.
The way technology has progressed, the off-the-shelf online banking tools and mobile apps are far forward from where they were when they originally started.
And they're very convenient.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So Bank of America being the first one out with a mobile app, 5-10 years ago, really anybody that is banking right now probably has a very similar banking experience on the mobile app. So technology is becoming less important, and I think relationships is really what's going to drive your decision on who you go to, and that's how you're involved with the community. That's how you're involved with your customers, and it's how involved you are just on the day-to-day operations.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Brian.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
having
being
me
here. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Okay, until next time.
For information about Northeastern Savings Bank, visit northeasternsavingsbank.com. Northampton musician Lisa Bastoni will be taking the stage at the TD Bank Lobby Series at the Spire Center on October 19th. In addition to being New England Award and Boston Music Award nominee, Lisa is also the winner of the 2019 New Folk Award winner at the Kerrville Folk Festival. To add to her many accolades, she has opened for such famed artists as Lori McKenna, Dar Williams, the Secret Sisters, and more. This songbird takes flight at 7:30 p.m. For tickets, visit spirecenter.org. Autism Eats is a nonprofit, volunteer-run organization providing autism-friendly, non-judgmental environments for family dining, socializing, and connecting with others who share similar joys and challenges. On Wednesday, October 18th, celebrate the season at Meadowbrook Restaurant in Hanson for the Autism Eats annual Halloween dinner party. The event runs from 6 to 8 p.m. and costumes are welcome. Prices are $20 for an adult ticket and $15 for children. Visit autismeats.org to register. If you have ever been interested in the mystical world of astrology, you'll be excited for this October 29th event at the Duxbury Free Library. Join astrologer and psychic Nancy Foley for Halloween Intro to Astrology as she takes you through this ancient practice and how people use it to explore the inner workings of their minds, bodies, and souls. She will also be giving personalized natal charts that will give you insight into your own zodiac sign. Along with her husband, Tom, Nancy owns Sienna Moon, and the couple has been providing readings and other psychic services for over 20 years. This event is presented by the Friends of the Duxbury Free Library. To register, visit the library's website. And that is what's good and good to know on the local scene this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. We are grateful for your attention. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to the local scene here and share everywhere. Thank you, friends.